breaking the fourth wall.
Yo, what up? I know we're some unfamiliar faces on a couple of these new platforms. My name is John Escudero. I am the founder of Dirt Sheet Radio. We are a platform that provides news, rumors about pop culture and pro wrestling all over the internet. You might have seen us. You might not be familiar with us. We have a logo right over there. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you can find us. It'll be scrolling across the bottom of your screen. But yeah, you can find all of Dirt Sheet Radio programming live every single night after every major professional wrestling event right here on all of Nico Extra's platforms, as well as Dirt Sheet Radio platforms all over the internet. That's right. We have shows all week long. Monday night after Raw, Tuesday night after NXT, Wednesday night after Dynamite, Thursday night after Impact, Friday night after SmackDown. We'll also be starting NXT Level Up with CJ and Tyler soon. But tonight, we're here to talk about WWE Smackdown. So let me introduce my friends. Nick LaRocco, say what up.
Yo, what up? I am Nick LaRocco representing SmackDown and WCW on this special occasion.
CJ, say what's up to the people.
CJ Carter sans camera tonight, but I'm still here regardless, so looking forward to talking SmackDown.
All right.
Smack.
I love it. You guys get to see CJ's beautiful face someday. Beyond this small camera.
Up on that avatar there, it kind of gives you a little impression. I'm much hotter in person.
That's right.
Woo!
Nick, what's that main event of SmackDown like, man? What'd you think?
I thought that YouTube TV had an awful lot of interruptions on my end, so it was difficult to watch. But that being said, it was exactly what it needed to be when you talk about a SmackDown main event that takes you from point A to point B.
I thought it was the hottest match of the night. I mean, we'll talk about it right now. We'll get right into it. You had
pandemonium, a little bit of everything.
The show, I guess we'll talk about the show opener and the closing at the same time, because the show opened with a segment that led right into the main event. We had Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline make their way out with Paul Heyman over to, apparently anoint Tonga as the new right-hand man of the Bloodline. It's an interesting turn of events that we have going on here. Basically, they're out there giving each other pats on the back and, giving each other blowjobs, and the Bloodline is great the way it is. Heyman is scared for his life. But it doesn't really last long before Kevin Owens and the Street Profits make their way out to mess all that shit up and presumably set up a 6-man tag match later on in the night, which Solo Sikoa does tell Paul Heyman later on, you need to set up this main event, or the main event is going to be you versus Tonga in the locker room. And that is interesting. What is Tama going to do to Paul Heyman in the locker room? That's really weird.
They still got to keep alluding to Haku, man. It's just like, who their father is, right? Just imagine what they can do to you from all the lessons they've learned.
No, they're criminals. They're not even like Haku. They actually kill people.
So did Haku, though.
We get to the actual main event. It's Solo, it's the Bloodline, the Guerrillas of Destiny versus Kevin Owens and the Street Profits. As we mentioned, the match ends when Solo decides he's had enough wrestling. He's going to use a steel chair. He disqualifies himself, and then, interestingly, starts using Roman Reigns' big moves. He has the Guerrillas of Destiny hold up Montez Ford. He gives him the old super spear, and then they roll out to the outside and give Kevin Owens the old shield power bomb. Through a table, closing out the show, standing tall on top of the man. Paul Heyman's still scared for his life. This is what he was trying to warn the man about.
Yep.
But yeah,
from one father to another.
That's our little bit of Bloodline lore this evening. Nick, what did you think? Did you enjoy this? Did you have fun? What's up?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Like again, this was a perfect episode from getting us from point A to point B, and some people might call that boring. I call that perfectly fine. I mean, we grew up in the Attitude Era, grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era, so this is exactly what a vast majority of SmackDown and Raw episodes consisted of, and especially too when it has moments of pure storytelling, such as with Solo utilizing the moves of the previous tribal chief. It's kind of like that, like Walter White thing in Breaking Bad, where it's just like, I'm taking over now. You are dead. Walter White is taking those little traits that you have. And on top of that, too, I just want to say, this is such a cool shot. This looked so amazing. I dug this.
I love it. I love the whole color scheme. I love what they've got going on. My thing is that, and I guess this is a little bit on purpose. Like we're kind of creating this. He's trying to be Roman. He's trying to be. He's not trying to be himself or be a leader. He's trying to emulate what he's seen. So he's not actually ready to be a leader. I think that's actually, like you said, pretty good storytelling when it comes down to it. I'd love to see what that's going to lead to. Although it kind of implies that when the eventual match does go down between them and the original Bloodline, that they shouldn't stand too much of a real chance. like they're not.
That kind of leads to its own problem. Like, yes, this is a high-profile match. The Bloodline Civil War, whatever event they schedule it for, that's your main event. What comes next? Because the OG Bloodline, I don't see lasting longer than one event. I mean, I could be wrong, but at the same time, if they all go their separate ways again, then the Bloodline 2.0 is now trying to recover from a really heavy loss when they're at the point right now, just starting out, where they already have a massive hill to climb, because you hear the crowd, they're not in love with this new Bloodline. So they already have very little, if any, momentum. Yeah, they got some wins, but it's all building to something bigger, and they're not starting off great.
I just wonder how much of this is like, because the crowd is not supposed to like them, right? I mean, it's they want Roman because they want Roman. Like he isn't legitimately supposed to be replacing Roman Reigns, like in the hierarchy of the show, whereas it's just kind of the story, and that's why I feel like they're purposely giving us this feeling and making us feel like, well, this isn't right. This isn't working. This isn't the Bloodline. Like, where the fuck is Roman Reigns? That's kind of what I feel like, that they want us to feel that way. That's why I'm kind of hesitant to be like, well, maybe this isn't working. Because I almost did say that a couple minutes ago, but as I was saying it, I was like, well, they're probably just working me, which is fine. That's great. That's exactly what I want from pro wrestling. I wanted to evoke some damn emotions. I'm tired of watching it with apathy.
I mean, that's one of the things to think about too is, we mentioned this last week, 8 years ago, they would have killed for people to be chanting, "We want Roman," right? And again, when I say 8 years ago, look at that. Like, Roman Reigns has been on the main roster since late 2012, early 2013.
Yep, late 2012.
And then on top of that, Usos have been around since 2010 on the main roster. So you've got already well over combined over 3 decades of main roster experience from those 3 guys alone. And then you got to bring these guys who only just recently came up onto the main roster scene. And now we got to try and establish them in some way, shape, or form to go up against these guys that have been long-term established for so long in fans' eyes. It's definitely an uphill battle that I see them having. And again, I think this is like the exact same thing, John, like we were discussing on the AEW show, that they need to do with like Samoa Joe and Hook's stable. They need to make these guys into legitimate killers and legitimate threats.
Just kind of get right into it. I think, like you said, like with Samoa Joe and Hook, I'm kind of like, why are we spending our time soft feuding when we could be getting into some real stuff? It kind of feels like we're doing a semi feud with the Street Profits, and Kevin Owens is the one who has the real problem with them. They're just kind of helping him out. Their biggest feud right now is with Kevin Owens and I think Randy Orton, right?
Where was Randy this week too?
What was that? I'm sorry, CJ.
Where was Randy this week?
Where has he been for the past couple weeks? We haven't seen him since the loss to Gunther. I imagine it's a mixture of this is the way his schedule works now, and keeping him off TV after big loss, which is kind of I actually prefer when a wrestler takes a big loss that they kind of disappear, not go away forever, but like just like, oh no, where is he? Like, what happened? It's been 3 weeks or whatever. He's lost. He lost. He's got to recover mentally. He's got to recover physically. He needs time. And maybe not always. I mean, I like, if it's a heated feud, then come out the next night on Raw and you're like, I want to kill you. I'm not done with you, and all that great stuff. But yeah, a big tournament loss that you can't really avenge because the guy's not on the same show. I don't mind him disappearing and then coming back out of nowhere.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
I was looking for any other fucking words to say.
Fucking used to death.
But actually, with the Randy Orton thing, I've been really hooked on the idea of him turning heel on Kevin Owens and them doing a feud before Randy fights Cody, because SmackDown doesn't have any, like, they have the Bloodline. It's like the top heels right now, but they're not the top heels. Like, they're not top heels. These are the non-established Bloodline. Right? We need some top bad guys. So I think Randy's the one to do it. And if he comes back, surprise, surprise, probably just take Kevin out. Like,
That's it.
Fuck this Bloodline shit. But CJ, I didn't ask you directly. What did you think of this main event segment and then just the entire Bloodline lore plot development that we got tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match. The Bloodline story is something that I'm very much looking forward to seeing what comes next and just seeing how these guys can continue to evolve without being overshadowed by their main event level counterparts in the Bloodline.
I agree. I can't say I disagree with that. Jesus says the crowd really misses Roman Reigns. I agree, but I don't think we're going to be getting back. It's 63 days already without the tribal chief. I haven't acknowledged him. I just need to acknowledge him a little bit. I just need one acknowledgement. Just let me give him one.
One more acknowledgement, please.
Mag says he had to explain 4 years of the Bloodline story to one of his coworkers that was watching SmackDown in the break room with him, had no idea what was going on, and now they are invested. I've honestly had a lot of conversations with people who hadn't watched WWE in a long time, and I didn't know they were watching again. And they were like, "Hey, bro, I've been watching for the last few months." Oh shit! It's not like a singular thing. I think you're gonna find a lot of people who got back into pro wrestling, especially this particular WrestleMania season, or even maybe last year's WrestleMania season. A lot of new fans, and at which point I say, hello, I've been here for 30 years. Sometimes I hate myself, but today is fine.
We've gone through worse, darker times. I stare at the VM era where they were all just guest celebrities. No, but like, too, that's the same thing. Like, this past WrestleMania was crazy. A lot of the people in my life aren't the biggest wrestling fans. A lot of them stopped watching back in the 90s, early 2000s even. And I had people at work, I had people just like texting me who stopped wrestling or stopped watching wrestling years ago. And they're just like, yo, did you see what happened at the end of WrestleMania? Did you see what was going on with that Bloodline storyline? Did you see when it was basically the Avengers of Pro Wrestling coming out there at the very end? Like, that was awesome. That was crazy. And that was so cool that was able to transcend just the hardcore wrestling base, and we were able to talk about that at the water cooler, because it feels like we haven't been able to do that since the Monday Night Wars.
We I guess if we don't have anything else to say about the Bloodline and the Roman Reigns stuff, I did have an interesting piece of information that occurred immediately after SmackDown went off the air a little while ago. Spoilers if you're invested in WWE's critically acclaimed Speed series on Twitter.
Breaking news?
Breaking news. We have a new Speed champion.
Hey, yo.
Andrade?
Andrade is the new champion of WWE Speed.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
You know exactly why they did that. They saw all of the comments on social media being like, Andrade left AEW for this.
And then they made it worse.
They gave him the Elon title?
No, you see, he's got a belt, brother. He's doing fine. You see, he's strapped. They strapped him, right? What are you talking about? Hey, listen. If you disagree, if you think in the comments, let us know out there. If you think this WWE Speed Championship is worth Andrade's time right now, worth anybody's time, or it should be seen as an achievement, let me see a viewpoint. The only viewpoint I can see is like if you convince yourself that they're trusting Andrade to carry this new brand, which is like
this new brand. Come on, they won't even show the title on Raw. They barely acknowledge it.
It's just a more technical Saturday morning slam.
It only exists because of capitalism. Let's not pretend this is even. This is This is worse than the 24/7 title. I will flat out say that.
You know, I don't disagree with you
because the title was fun. It was just ugly.
I mean,
it was very fun.
It was okay. I'll put fun in quotes because it was fun. It was fun in a WWE 2019 way.
No, but that's what it was. It was like with what we got in 2019.
Yeah,
that was entertaining.
It was fun within its, within its
context.
But I think the Speed title is worse because at least the 24/7 guys were getting time on television. Like you win at Speed belt.
Literally is getting attacked backstage 2 weeks in a row. It's doing a real solid job representing your title that you can't even bring to television.
That part bugs me out. Why did we make this championship? Why did we make it if they can't wear it on TV? Like beyond all the other problems I have.
That's literally all it is. Elon gave them money.
But like, what kind of fool? Like, so they gave them money and then they made the belt like exclusive. Like, you can't even see the image of it on another network. Like, whoever made this deal is a fool.
How do you even promote it? Like, you don't have to defend it on WWE TV, but at least bring it out there and show it off, promote it.
It's a money laundering scheme.
It's massive sperm.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Lawyers involved. I don't wonder where this conversation was going.
Turn on the creepy conspiracy music. Go.
We're gonna put fucking 3-minute matches on Twitter. We're gonna sell them as if we're actually doing something, and in reality, we are doing the tiniest minimum amount of work that we have ever done and getting paid for it. Yeah. And why does this exist? If not to launder dirty money. No, but in all seriousness, this is really dumb. I hate it. I'm sorry, Andrade. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's you, maybe it's them, but the guy doesn't seem to work anywhere in America. Maybe we need to start looking at other options. Or maybe we go back to CMLL. CMLL is on fire right now. I don't know, man. They're not paying the same, unfortunately. But this is rough for my boy. I like Andrade. I like Andrade a lot.
Does that mean that Andrade defeated Ricochet then for the title? Or is it like
yes?
Okay. So what I will say, that's got to be a banger of a match at least.
If they just go in there and they have the last...
I'll never watch it.
I'm not either. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's just like when main event would always have like really good matches. Like I remember everyone was talking about the matches that like Cedric and Ali were having on main event, and then like John Morrison and Shelton Benjamin tearing the house down, but nobody watched it.
I'm thinking about it, and wouldn't it have been a better idea to put these matches on TikTok? Wouldn't it have been a much better idea to put these?
But
my gosh.
Very short-sighted if TikTok's getting banned in the U.S.
I doubt it.
But like pop them on, like do them in like 90 seconds. Pop them on an Instagram reel.
Because I mean, honestly, regardless of what people may think of what's going to happen to it, as of today, it is still the trend setter. It is still the top of the ladder. And
everything's going to vertical video. If you notice on social media, every single platform has vertical video now, thanks to TikTok.
They want us to go vertical. If you want us to go vertical, let us know. It's really weird. We decided against it, But if that's your thing, if you think you'd enjoy this show better if we were stacked on top of each other like the fucking Brady Bunch, then yeah, let us know.
That is an orientation option for this stream. Like, we could be vertical videos all in between each other right now.
Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Do I gotta put a fucking Subway Surfers gameplay feed under us for you to pay attention?
Or someone just jumping on a Minecraft obstacle course?
Please. I gotta tell a Reddit story? What do I gotta do?
My ex
Smackdown
texted me
went
last
off
night.
the air with the Bloodline standing tall.
My mom texted me while I was watching SmackDown, and she's really toxic. She tried to force me to clean my dishes when I was a kid.
Number two. I watched emails me while I was watching SmackDown.
Anyway, we got to get back to
Well, my
SmackDown.
childhood hero Roman Reigns wouldn't make me wash the dishes.
Acknowledge me, Mom.
I acknowledge the tribal chief, but I'll never acknowledge you.
Oh my God. So moving on from the Bloodline stuff tonight, we had a WWE
Sorry,
Women's.
just one more before we carry
Yeah.
on. Mom, you're not being very oozy right now.
Oh God, that's actually disgusting.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
You make me, CJ. You make me sick. No.
Well, this was the last time we're gonna be streaming with CJ. Everyone, let's give him a round of applause.
Oh my God. I was trying to. You see these. The folks, we're not new to this, but we're new to you. Again, if you like us, let us know, man. I know we got a lot of new people watching, but Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Indi Hartwell and Candice LeRae. It was a pretty it was a match. It was right, it was there. Nick,
One of the matches of all time.
if you could see those pictures better than I can, I actually can't. When I have to do this.
Bro, they're so slow.
Like fuck. No. We have pictures of this match, I'm sure. There we go. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, they come out there. They're gorgeous as always against Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. They had a funny segment actually earlier before the commercial break where Indi Hartwell goes to Nick Aldis in the office and she's like, Jade put me into this match. And he basically tells her, like, shut up, you idiot. If Candice is healed, you're all going out there to wrestle. So they do. But they weren't alone. They were immediately fucking surrounded by Alba Fire and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks and Isla Dawn, and probably in a different order than I said their names, but they were out there and they were watching from the moment the bell rang too. So there was no surprise element. Like Jade and Bianca probably should have been ready. And it took them a second.
Oh, dude, can I say real quick, bro, we're in superstar shakeup mode just because, like, several of those women are on the Raw brand.
But I'll give them that there's something going on already, and that it started on Raw. At the very least, they didn't just run down to SmackDown and just start shit with them. It has started on Raw. And then they followed these girls to their brand, and they did that because, you know, they defend across the brands. I've always been
for the women's tag division. I have to throw in too, Shayna is very busy. She's headed to Battleground this Sunday as well. She's been killing it on NXT lately, so shout out to her.
Shout out to are they really the Unholy Union? Is that what they're calling them? But they took
that's still what they're calling them.
They took their magic powers away. It's not the same. Anyway, they attacked Jade and Bianca after they beat Candice and Indi because they did. Of course, and then they start fighting amongst each other, and then Bianca and Jade come back in and they take the advantage. What did y'all think of this segment? Did you have any significant thoughts about this?
It basically just sets up the championship match for Clash at the Castle later on in the night. So it kind of like what Nick said earlier about the opening promo. It got us from A to B. You know, it feels a little bit rushed because it's, you know, next Saturday, but, you know, like, it gets the job done, essentially.
Agreed. Nick, you have anything to say?
Yeah, you know, like you
Not
guys
really
said,
gonna say for
it was
yourself.
basically, it was basically just, again, like we said earlier, point A to point B. CJ double tapped that, and I agree completely with this in particular, even more so than earlier, because like we have like such a short time to build, and then at the same time too, I understand why we have women from Raw appearing on SmackDown because we got the dual branded women's tag team titles. I just would prefer the champions to be the ones traveling like the early brand split in like 2002 compared to all the contenders moving back and forth, because that just feels like such a slippery slope, because that was the same slippery slope that caused the draft to nearly come to an end for so many years within the last Vince McMahon era.
I'd argue he just couldn't remember who was on what show towards the end.
And I mean, like, the champs did float over to Raw. Like, they belong on SmackDown. They were signed there in the draft. So they went over to Raw, which was the inciting incident for Shayna and Zoe to hop over from Raw.
Oh, that's an interesting thing over there in the corner.
Ooh.
I like that. I'll put it away for now. We'll talk about it another time. That's spiffy.
Super swell.
We're learning as we go.
So we move along from that segment. Cody's in the back pacing like a crazy person. There's him right there.
Part of the night.
That's his I'm angry face. He was passionate all night long. He was on fire. He was waiting for AJ, and Nick Aldis is like, "Hey, bro, could you not?" And he's like, "But I will." And then we cut away to Apollo Crews backstairs with Sarah Schreiber. I think I said her name right, and I'm sorry if I didn't. But Apollo. Oh, let me get rid of this little caption thing. Indi Hartwell looks funny. Anyway, Apollo goes out there and he's about to cut what seems like a passion promo. He's got, "I'm so glad to be back," and then bow. He's get the fuck out of here. Shut up. You're a jobber. Did you forget? And then they treated him like one. I thought he had a match tonight. Wasn't he supposed to fight Angel Garza? Like, wasn't that of a
yeah, that
announced?
was scheduled, and that's where LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes took their spot. Supposedly.
Okay. I mean, hey, at least it had a logical reason, and then something happened on TV and it killed him first. I can't complain.
Wouldn't have happened if he still had Dabba-Kato with him. Just saying. Commander
That's the
Aziz.
truth. That's the truth. You know what's up. So after that, we had LA Knight in the back. He's talking to Nick Aldis. Yeah. Where is that Logan Paul? Yeah. Nick Aldis shows him some nudes. He's like, yeah, hell yeah. And then Carmelo Hayes walks up, and he's been disrespecting him for the past couple weeks, and it continues. And so Nick Aldis gives them the match. Yeah. Follow that up with Grayson Waller defeating Johnny Gargano. What's up?
Before the match, I just have to mention pure gold, like pure chef's kiss, that LA Knight's tirade into Logan Paul gets transitioned into a fucking literal Prime ad. Like, that is next level genius. Logan Paul's a piece of shit. Buy Prime.
Buy Prime. I will not.
Sponsors of the show.
Yeah, I'll buy Prime right next to my Mr. Beast chocolate bar. Get the fuck out of here. Good. Hershey Radio sucks. Coming soon, baby. No. Let's go. Anyway, Grayson Waller versus Johnny Gargano. Grayson Waller defeats Johnny Gargano. It was a scary moment early in the match where Johnny does the sliced bread number 2 and almost takes himself out, is a way we can say it without getting kicked off the air. That was rough, but it was fine. It looked fine. He stood up. He seemed okay, and the match continued. Grayson Waller ends the match by, I think, pulling Austin Theory into danger's way, and Johnny Gargano has to struggle with that. That is, in fact, his son, Grayson Waller, who he raised.
That's true.
And of course, that gives Grayson Waller the win, and Austin Theory did not like that. So next week, we'll have a Waller effect with Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa will be in there with both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and we'll get some more, I guess, Waller effect shenanigans. Gentlemen, what did y'all think of this?
I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've heard Grayson Waller's theme in like months.
That's a good point. It did sound unfamiliar for a second. I thought it was a return. What's happening?
Right.
I know, to be fair, everything is unfamiliar to me.
When did he get when did he get so angry at Grayson at Austin Theory or aggressive towards him? Like, did it just happen last week because of what he said? Was there something else to this?
I think it's something that they kind of were teasing. Like, I picked up a thing at WrestleMania that Waller said in the locker room, where again it was kind of throwing Austin Theory under the bus. So it's been like little things here and there, basically as long as they've been champs. So I think they're just really leaning heavy into this potential breakup angle. But yeah.
It's always interesting when they do it while they're still champion. I'm not gonna lie, I like that. I'm interested in that. It does give the belts something to do. Although again, I've just been so we've talked about it before, and I'm not gonna harp on it, but I'm just so I've been so damn confused about how WWE had a pretty, I don't want to say high quality, but they had some damn decent tag stuff going on before WrestleMania. You know, like before WrestleMania, people claim they were tired of the Judgment Day, but they also had the tag team championships being one of the main featured things of the show for like a year. So when going from that to like,
and with main event shows too,
main events, and then going from that to the comedy of Miz and R-Truth to the soap opera drama of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, it is definitely an acquired taste, and it's not one that I'm willing to acquire. But if you like it, I'm not gonna knock you for it. I'm not gonna say it's objectively bad, because it isn't. It's not like there's anything technically wrong with it at all. It's doing all it's supposed to do, and it's getting the story where it needs to get. And if you enjoy that, then by all means, please don't hate me for not.
Speaking of Miz and R-Truth, though, since we have such a new audience, I have to reiterate, it is such bullshit that the Miz and R-Truth do not have side plates. They are rocking the generic logo side plates, and it is unacceptable to think that they wouldn't have them by now. It's been almost 2.5 months, and newer champions have their side plates since. So this cannot go unpunished.
Being a
to my TED Talk.
being a massive belt mark, I agree with you in that it makes it look like they're carrying replica belts, but I won't spend too much time.
Honestly, like my thought process with that too is like, it always felt like R-Truth was getting, just this thank you WrestleMania moment and title run. And I think that they were just planning for this to be a placeholder and didn't really put any thought into them being long-term champions. But then it's Miz and R-Truth who are very entertaining and fun to have around on your TV.
That's what I'm saying. They're just like, oh shit, we didn't really know how we were going to follow up on this, did we? Oh, well, we'll leave it there. We'll just leave it there for now.
Why I thought the Judgment Day was going to reclaim the titles when they defended against Finn and JD on that one episode of Raw.
Probably should have. But what's that? A QR code? What's
Whoa!
The Wyatt family? Stop it! Leave us alone, Bo Dallas. Anyway, yeah, that's a cool thing. I don't know. I don't mean to block CJ with that. That's so crazy.
You know what? If this was my actual face, I might be offended, but it's just that.
That is, I appreciate the little circle. The little circle man. So we followed that
bald head.
We followed that match up with my segment of the night. Cody Rhodes, my segment of the night, powered by NordVPN. Oh, we haven't set that up entirely yet, but I do want to push that out there. NordVPN, baby. Powered by NordVPN. Yeah, that's my segment of the night. Cody Rhodes comes out there and he's all, like I said, he's a man on fire. He's passionate. He's He's got face. Look at his facials. I'm angry. I'm gonna kill him. AJ does finally arrive, and he said, "Do something about it." But he was like 16 feet away, so Cody can't get through the wall of security. He angrily stomps his way out to the ring. I imagine he did like the Cody meme walk to the ring. He just screams at AJ, "Come out here and fight me!" And the whole thing. And I really try not to put logic into wrestling, but I'm like, so Nick Aldis was okay with this, but only if it happens out here. So why the fuck did Cody go to the back in the first place? You stupid ass! You should have just waited for him in the ring. We should have waited for an opening. I assume that in kayfabe he doesn't have. This isn't his segment. He just stole it. But yeah, no, that was. I just kept laughing because I was like, wait, how is this okay? Whatever. He calls out AJ. AJ does walk out. He says, "You know what I want." He literally says, "Give me what I want." Give him the WWE Championship rematch that he claims he so rightfully deserves. Cody says, "I will give it to you, but I'm going to make you do what you should have done last week. I'm going to make you say, I quit." And I said, "Oh, wow, that's actually really cool. That's the whole retirement angle. I see now. I see the vision. He should have retired last week, and now I'm going to make your ass wish that you did." I dig it. I don't hate it. And I enjoyed how he got there, and I enjoyed how angry Cody was because, like I said, it feels like he's been fighting villains of the week since Roman has been gone, since The Rock has been gone. So at least this gives the impression that he's heated, angry. How's it going, Daniel? It's actually going pretty well. This was not a bad episode of SmackDown, and we're streaming live to many, many, many new people on all over Nico Extra's platforms. Thanks again to Nico Extra. He's got a QR code thing that you can follow there too. Follow him on all his platforms if you're not already doing that, and if you are, follow us on all our platforms if you're not already doing that. That's really cool. Uncle Howdy hooking us up.
This segment basically just devolved into Cody Rhodes assault security personnel for some reason. Like at some point it became personal. He's just like, I'm just mad and I need to punch it out of me. Give me the nearest security guard and I'm going to hit them.
There's got to be like hazard pay, there's got to be some kind of contract agreement for these security guards where they're going to die.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Cody Rhodes like standing in front of a bunch of security guards. All of them got a shiner, and he's just handing out a stack of cash and saying sorry.
I feel like that's a scene in
some might say the way he was, throwing fists left, right, front, center, being uncontrollable, having to be held back, almost like he was possessed by an external force looking over his shoulder, perhaps.
His stand! It's Ric Flair! He's got a JoJo stand and it's fucking Ric Flair! Holy shit!
Flares and the Rhodes are uniting. What is this?
He's been there all along. It was Ric Flair that put the tattoo on his neck. It was Ric Flair that dyed him blonde. He's been guiding him all along.
This is where we flash back.
Thank you. That explains why half his body's over here half dead, because half his spirit isn't Cody Rhodes.
He wanted to be the man, so he drank the can.
You didn't see it on WrestleMania, but during the main event, Ric Flair was under the ring with like a giant magnet and holding Roman Reigns down by his metal necklace, a la Looney Tunes.
That's the Rick I know and love.
Dirty player in the game.
So yeah,
shenanigans.
My friends, did you have anything to say about this segment? I liked it.
What is this weird? Like, I do actually kind of have a bit of a problem with Cody Rhodes going ham on the security people. Like, what does this really do to make Cody look strong? It makes him look rabidly over emotional. And I know coming from me that says a lot, but I think they should be channeling his anger better on TV. Like, yeah, he makes a hell of a mean face, but like I said, he just went after security guard after security guard instead of just barreling through to AJ Styles, which is what I feel would have been the better course for him.
I think the idea is that he's been gotten to, and that AJ
or
has a mental advantage.
Like or at the very least, it feels like they could have had AJ fighting as well instead of just Cody. Like, I get kind of chicken shit heel, but I don't know. We're gonna see an I Quit match. There's no way to build too big for this.
But also, AJ didn't like when he accepted the I Quit matches because he had already gotten what he wanted. Like, he was not as angry about this as Cody is. He's relaxed. He actually waited for the moment to come and then ran up and bopped him on the head. Bow. Fuck you. So I feel like that's the story. Yeah, but literally just Acme mallet. You whomped him.
The mallet that's as big as Gallows.
But it is Gallows, actually. He is the mallet.
Transform.
Where did they go? They were there, right? They were just standing there. They're back to being hood ornaments.
Like, even then, why didn't just Cody jump out of the ring like towards like Gallows and Harrison, take them out and show like, yeah, look what I did to your boys. This is what I'm going to be doing to you.
Why doesn't the larger champion simply eat the smaller one?
Imagine if Cody Rhodes just started cannibalizing Luke Gallows in the middle of the ring.
That's AJ showing how fucked up he is. You want to see something? He just starts eating Luke Gallows. If I can eat my best friend, what am I going to do to you on Sunday? Oh, man. So, yeah. Angry Cody. This fucking face, I'm never going to forget that. I'm going to use that for the rest of my life.
That was me with the Ric Flair face right behind it. Loved it.
Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are backstage, and they're cutting this promo about how they got it authorized to defend the titles against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks at Clash in the Castle. And we're going to see them at Clash in the Castle, and I'll see you at Clash in the Castle, and you see me at Clash in the Castle. And I think they said Clash in the Castle 5 fucking times in 30 seconds. And I was like, what the fuck? Failure of... What the fuck happened here? It bothered me much more than it should have. It was probably...
Could be just a bit of awkward nervousness. Could just be, make sure you hype Clash at the Castle taken to an extreme.
The castle.
What's that? The Simpsons subliminal military or a cigarette?
Yvonne at Niage.
Yeah, no, or the one that flashes in and out. Smoke. Smoke. Clash in the Castle. Clash in the Castle. It's such a clunky name. That's why I noticed it. Clash of the Castle. It's all right. I hate when AEW does it too. Me madness. Monkey man. Like, whatever the fuck.
It's Quake at the Lake.
Quake at the Lake. That was almost a thing. It was a thing. LA Knight versus Carmelo
Lake,
Hayes.
excuse me.
LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
It's another week of me being like, fuck, I liked Melo a lot better when he wasn't here. But he was also in the ring with LA Knight, who, as much as everybody loves him, it's not exactly somebody that you can showcase a lot of in-ring skill with. Try not to kill me for that one. But it wasn't the best. What up, Juan? My boy. I appreciate that. From New York City, showing love. That's what's up, man. That's my guy. Yeah, like I was saying, fucking shit. What was I saying? LA Knight. That's right. Against Melo. I just felt like this wasn't the best showing for Melo, and it's also a streak of not good showings so far. for Melo.
The main roster run has been quite rough lately.
But I did want to ask our resident NXT post-show host, CJ, who you can find every single Tuesday with Tyler and Malik.
And soon coming up every Sunday, talking Level Up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, what do you think?
Melo is definitely better than this. Like, I have called or reviewed so many of Melo's matches on Tuesday nights that I know what he's capable of, and I don't know if it's just nerves. It definitely felt like nerves last week when he flubbed Logan Paul's name and LA's name, and I just know he needs to get out of his own head. Is essentially my biggest piece of advice to Melo. Whatever he has to do to get that is going to be up to him, but I mean, he's his own worst enemy right now.
I agree with that. I mean, there's almost no other explanation, right? Because it's like, wait, why is there such a...
Since he's been on the main roster. Like, he had a decent showing in the U.S. title tournament, and then he has that really close call with Austin Theory. Mac, I gotta say, I'm also digging this new layout, and it's fantastic.
Cool stuff. We're just learning how to use it. This is like the bare minimum. There's a bunch of cool things that we can do that we actually don't know how to do yet. We'll figure that stuff out as we go along.
Like, the fact that we have a backing track for when we talk now is like top tier. But no, like, he is better than this. So I hope he gets the chance to really showcase that. But I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if LA Knight was the best opponent to do that. So who do you think on the SmackDown roster is the best person for Melo to work with right now?
That almost sucks because they moved all the real wrestlers to Raw so they can fill up 3 hours with the wrestling.
Because you know what, CJ, I was taking the opposite approach because I was peeking at the SmackDown roster right this second just to think of who could have jobbed instead of Melo. Like, you got Ashante the Adonis, you got Cedric Alexander, you know, you got Giovanni Vinci. Like, you got some people that could have easily taken that loss.
I'm sorry. What? They can, well, I mean, yeah, like, they can take the loss, but Melo's the one that should be getting the TV time. Like, I stopped kind of giving much of a shit about Giovanni Vinci after he got kicked out and not even given the chance to retaliate on TV before being drafted to the other show and hasn't been seen since. Who else, what other names did you say, Nick?
We had Ashante the Adonis, Cedric Alexander. Like, these are all guys who could have taken a loss.
Yeah,
and I would much rather have Melo not appear than to just take a loss.
But I mean, Cedric Alexander and Ashante the Adonis were getting segments, like pre-recorded character bits, and that never even went anywhere.
Just floated away. Yeah. And then he lost to Braun Breaker in like 10 seconds. It's given
me no reason to invest my time and attention in any of those guys that you mentioned, whereas I've been a solid NXT enjoyer for years, since Melo debuted for sure. So I'd say he definitely deserves the spot, but he's got a little bit more work to do before it really shows that he's comfortable there.
I think
I'm saying it from the perspective of these are the guys that should be losing. Melo should be winning a lot of matches. And honestly, you pop Melo in the ring with a Cedric Alexander, that match would be fire. You can easily open a SmackDown show with that. That would be easily like a 4-star banger right there.
Max got a good one too. Apollo Crews and Carmelo Hayes. I think the idea is, and I agree that I'm not interested in seeing Carmelo come up to the main roster and like go through the stages of I'm a fucking dummy now. Like, I'm an idiot. I'm on the main roster. I'm a stupid ass who gets himself into situations that his mouth can't catch because I've never been in the main roster before, and that's kind of what we're doing here. That's like he comes, he says something, he's too much, and then he loses. He says something again to LA Knight, it's too much, and then he loses. I'm not interested in seeing Carmelo Hayes doing this, and I'd rather not see. I'd almost rather not see him at all than to see
Honestly.
him lose. I feel like we're like chipping away at him, and that's that old school Vince mentality. It kind of scares me a little bit. Oh, I don't see that.
I just want to see him do well. That's it. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of the same things, and that's why I'm like, at least when it comes to like, because Shinsuke Nakamura, he was drafted over to SmackDown, and I'm almost glad that it's more promo based for him than it is actually featuring him, because we've seen how he's been featured throughout this year alone. He keeps losing. He's a jobber, and he shouldn't be. It's Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hey, he was getting a decent push when they thought they can sign Okada. It's when they realized that they couldn't that it ended. I'm not saying that there's correlation or that it's causation. I'm just saying
That's something.
it's an interesting coincidence. Anyway,
Oh, Mac, is that true? That breaks my heart.
what's that? Nakamura is 134
Wow.
this year. Wow.
Was that the 6-man tag where he turned with Seth Rollins, or is that just like a one-on-one record?
That's oh shit. That's right. I forget. That might actually be the only win. That 6-man tag match, because I don't really remember him getting his hand held up any other time.
And bear in mind, this is a guy who, like, immediately within year one is one of only a handful of guys to come in and win a Royal Rumble match. Like, they wanted to make a huge deal of Shinsuke.
Did they though, or did they just want it to make it look like they were? Kind of like when Zack Ryder got over for doing his own thing, and then they gave him the Intercontinental title and took it back the next day.
That's so
I
fun.
feel like, though, like, you
That
can
was
give
much later,
anyone the Intercontinental title, because for so long they've seen championships, especially if it's not the world title, as just a prop. I mean, look at the amount of times guys who've been writers or bookers have called it simply a prop, you know? And the Royal Rumble itself, that at least is huge, because that's got huge like WrestleMania implications, and that's something that truly gets immortalized, and people remember that much more than just any title reign.
Oh, for sure. But I mean it from the perspective of like punishing someone for getting over by giving them an achievement and then not doing anything with it.
Oh boy, they used to do. I like to imagine that they don't do things like that anymore. But that was absolutely their favorite little trick back in the day. They just give the guy the belt, fuck it, and then take it from shit on them for forcing us to do that. It was like a punishment to the fans through the wrestler. He didn't even do anything.
You guys remember when they gave Wade Barrett the title and he was just jobbing left, right, front, and center with it?
They made him king of the ring, and he was like an absolute loser. But yeah, Max says Nakamura never recovered after the AJ feud. That wet fart of a WrestleMania match and his obsession of crushing testicles with his arm. Did you like the way a set of fucking testicles, a scrotum feels on your forearm when you get all up under there and you're getting the good old low blow?
I had to, because I mean there was about 4 or 5 of them in that like 2 month span.
He got a taste. He got a taste of WrestleMania, and he just couldn't stop thinking about it. Got to get him back on my forearm immediately.
It sounds like the worst D-list horror movie of all time. The possessed forearm that craves testicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Logan
Really
Paul
to take a sip of my drink.
fucking LA Knight defeats Carmelo Hayes. He gets out of the ring. He grabs a mic or grabs an announcer's mic, and he looks into the camera. He says, "If you don't want to come to SmackDown, I'll bring SmackDown to you." Yeah. And then I thought to myself, they keep on mentioning Tetris. He's gonna show up at this fucking Tetris World Championship thing, isn't he? He's gonna cost him the Tetris World Championship. This is like when Edge and Booker T fought over the Japanese shampoo commercial.
Yeah, that's right. At WrestleMania.
You cost me the Tetris World Championship, you son of a bitch. I'll kill you. Imagine watching this 5 years from now and just trying to figure out like, which belt is the Tetris World Championship? What the hell are they talking about? That's gonna be great, honestly. So
Who's Tetris, a rival promotion?
that one too. Logan Paul does he does cut a promo responding to this later on. He says, if you take your Temu glasses off your face, you realize you're just a mega star who never won any titles, and he shitted all over him. It was actually pretty good. I was like, damn.
To his credit, he is a former $1 million champion.
He is. I forgot that happened. Honestly, entirely. So
Which is fair.
Following that, Tiffany Stratton is walking backstage, looking incredible, I might add. It is Tiffy time. I'm trying to find the solo shot of her that I had. There we go. She's walking backstage. She's looking fine. She finds Nia Jax, and she says, girl, you are my favorite to win this match after me, or to win Queen of the Ring, after myself. And we should be together, basically. Not like as a couple, but she should be the queen, and she should be the princess of the ring. And I'm like, those are the ones who are gonna beat Jade and Bianca, aren't they? Like, those are the girls who are gonna beat Jade and Bianca. It's right there. It's written in the stars. This is honestly a little interesting. I hate to say how much I am willing to see what comes next. What say you guys?
I'm trepidatious because Tiffany Stratton came up from NXT with so much momentum, and granted, she still has it, but we've seen the pairing of random wrestlers together as like a demotion kind of thing, or at the very least, like we've got nothing better for you right now. So I'm worried that that's the point that we've hit with both Tiffany Stratton and, like, if Nia Jax goes on to SummerSlam and doesn't win the title, is this the direction that we're headed? Like, we've got nothing for you, even though we just gave you this accolade.
I'm still thinking that it kind of puts them it puts them back in the path of Jade Cargill, which Nia and Jade have a very large unfinished problem that needs to be dealt with sooner than later. So I imagine that, and when it comes to the women more than the men, when they get paired together, I am less you've got nothing to do with you, and more like they got a damn tag team division with no damn tag teams. So like I am more willing to accept it when it comes to the women, because when they do it with the men, it literally is like, we don't know what else to do with you. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and talking about the tag team division, all over the world, and how it's not being utilized in the way it could be. Because you could build like the tag team division should be treated like the Intercontinental Championship spot sometimes, in that you can actually put someone that you have a lot of plans for in a 2-year-long tag team and build them in that division. And you can use the division to like plant little single seeds and sprout all types of new stars out of tag teams. Like, why the fuck aren't we like, what the fuck? So I again, if we were doing things that way, I'd be fine with it. But when it comes to the women, it's the closest to that we are right now. Tiffany, like you said, she came up from NXT with a lot of momentum, and they probably don't know where to stick her in regards to like single stuff. It's seeing how many people are probably in front of her in line right now.
Well, and I mean, especially like she's talking to the number one contender right now. So what are you doing? Are you actually in it for yourself? Or because it doesn't feel like this is going to end well for Tiffany Stratton going up against the newly minted Queen of the Ring.
She's definitely in there trying to get in there. She's trying to make an early investment just in case Nia wins the belt.
No, that's exactly like the one thing that I'm hoping comes from this, because we've seen time and time again in WWE history how they just kind of throw two people together and it's just like, all right, this is just so you guys can do something at least for now, and then they kind of forget about them. And that is kind of bad because, like we said, Tiffany had all this hype and momentum, and then on top of that, Nia's kind of the Queen of the Ring. So,
kind of.
Yeah, one of those things. But I do hope that it is one of those things where it's really just like, no, we have a plan. We're gonna, see through this. That, Tiffy just wants to be next to the person that's going to become the champion. So maybe she supports enough. Maybe she gets her title shot soon.
I dig it, and I see it. I definitely see it.
It was kind of a slippery slope, so to speak, after that.
We did follow that up with the second best segment of the night. Powered by NordVPN. Let's fucking go! Let's go! Yeah. So Bayley comes out. She's out there going to cut a promo on Piper Niven, but it doesn't get very far before Piper and Chelsea come out. They kind of cut her right off. They come out there, and Bayley says, you know, I watched your journey. I respect all the things you did to get to WWE. I know how it feels to finally get a world championship match in front of your friends and family. I know how it feels to lose in front of your friends and family. If you would have just asked me, I would have given you a title shot. And then Piper's like, bitch, you don't know me. You know nothing about me. And Piper goes and cuts the very best promo I've ever heard from her. And she says, you know, all those words would mean something if you knew anything about me. Essentially, she says, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to take your world championship. And I hope all that respect you have for me will make it easier for you to stare at those lights. I was like, yeah, fire! Great segment between them here, man. I loved this, and I think they've got a shot of having one of the best matches on the card at Clash. Piper Niven is an excellent wrestler. Bayley is an excellent wrestler, and she is literally running through Stardom girls right now. She had EO at WrestleMania. She's got Piper at this show. She knows how to wrestle the style that these girls learned how to wrestle overseas, and she can bring something out of them that's going to be awesome. At least I hope so. CJ, what'd you think?
Yeah, hell of a promo. I thought Bayley's promo was fantastic, and then I kind of had the same reaction to you, John, where I was like, holy shit, Piper just dropped an actual pipe bomb. Like, it felt so real. Like, she was actually genuinely offended that Bayley tried this tactic to jump on for her promo. I thought it was hilarious whenever people start responding to the what chants lately to try and get them to stop. Like, Inbred Says What, I think, is still one of my favorites.
It's never gonna pass. If you sleep with your cousin or you sleep with your sister, say what? If you sleep with your sister, say what?
Fair. I forgot about that one.
Oh man, that's legendary. Honestly, the wet chant. I mean, I've said it. It's pretty common, a common thought amongst most people that it should die. The wet chant should die. It has been used so poorly. I think they used it on Sunday to Roosh, and I was like, is this racist? Like, this kind of feels racist. That's funny. Max says, even with Vince gone, tag team wrestling is pretty much dead in WWE. They're bringing up the best tag team they have right now, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and they are the fucking champions. Mac? I'm going to give you a timeout for that. No, I mean, hey, if Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are the best tag team in the company to you right now, then seeing them breaking up, it is going to suck. But I didn't even think they should have won the belts, so that's where I'm at with them.
Yeah, the best thing I can say about them, the titles look cool.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tony Hayes? Oh.
The best I can say about them is that Grayson Waller is fantastic.
He is. Honestly, I think he might have fallen a bit having to be stuck in this tag team. With Austin Theory.
Worried about.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like this gave, because we talked about it last week, Austin Theory works so much better in a duo, so it feels like this is kind of more to the benefit of A-Town Down than it is for Grayson.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. It's when Grayson Waller lost to Edge, I remember thinking, like, man, this felt like it did so much more for Grayson Waller. Like losing to Edge did much more for Grayson Waller than beating John Cena did for Austin Theory. And
Well,
then
said after the match, like, you swam. So the public acknowledgement from Edge really boosted that into the stratosphere.
and then they were like, "What if we shove you into this can? wait, what are you doing? Just get him in there. Close that up." Oh shit. No, Mac is defending himself now because he said they're the best tag team. Nope, it's on video. You can't say
Like,
you can't take it back. They're in your Mount Rushmore. They're better than the Road Warriors. That's what you said. You said call it the Grayson Waller pop now.
Move over Heart Foundation.
Yeah, but great segment from Bailey and Piper Niven. And that's pretty much all that we have for SmackDown. There was a backstage segment where Chelsea Green and Piper Niven walk into Nick Aldis' office while Naomi is talking. So this time, Naomi gets a taste of karma as she's in the office trying to get her piece, and someone else walks up in there and gets all up in their shit. Mac.
No, Mac.
No, Mac. No. We have to adjust your tag team Mount Rushmore first, because you have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory over the Road Warriors.
The Road Warriors, the Steiners, Harlem Heat.
No, Mac is actually a person of sound mind. He does not have these thoughts. Disclaimer. So that's
Mac and the Mac content.
That's WWE Smackdown in a nutshell. If a nutshell was about half as long as the actual show. What do you people think? We still have 2 more segments. We like to do something on our shows called The Jobber of the Night.
The Jobber.
We like to talk about the person that we thought was the Jobber of the Night. It's fairly self-explanatory. I don't have any other words for that. And the Jobber of the Night is powered by Monk.com. You can use a promo code DSR10 for 10% off of some aromatherapy. That's right. Check that shit out. But yeah, Nick, who's your Jobber of the Night? Who's your Jobber of the Night?
Oh, snap. My Jobber of the Night. I gotta, unfortunately, go with someone who I hate having to say this, and I hate throwing him in this spot because he shouldn't be there, but I'm gonna say Apollo Crews. Man got obliterated like very early in the backstage segment. That felt like the only little bit of TV time he was gonna have for the next few weeks.
That was funny as hell. I think they killed him off. I think that's it for him. It felt like they killed him off. Like, so Apollo, this is gonna be a new beginning for you, right? And he's like, yeah, pop, pop, pop. No, actually, no, never mind.
He's that guy that talks about all the good things going on in his life as he's walking into the street to get hit by a bus.
This day can't possibly get any better. Yeah.
Brother.
Max says Job of the Night is him for saying that Theory and Waller are the best tag team in WWE.
Well, Mac, you convinced me. I had a completely different pick, but you're right. You are the Jobber of the Night.
That's awesome. I love it. CJ, who's your Jobber of the Night, my friend?
You know, you make a compelling argument for Apollo Crews. Mac makes an even more compelling argument, but I'm gonna have to go with Mello tonight. Like, he keeps talking himself into corners that you're right. Like, there was no foreseeable way where he gets out of this jab off, loss, repeat cycle that he seems to be stuck in right now. It's going to take a lot to get him out of it. So, you know, I think at least for tonight, he's Jobber of the Night material.
So, I had a hard time picking a Jobber of the Night because you guys took all the good ones. And then Mac took my whole thing. I was going to call him the Jobber of the Night, but he did the old 8 Mile, and he took it away from me. So now I ain't got nothing. My Jobber of the Night is me for being unable to come up with a Jobber of the Night. I'll go ahead. I'll give myself to you.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes was
should've-
pissed off at you for being jobber of the night.
He is. He's mad I couldn't figure it out. I get it.
How dare you?
Jobber of the
Nick's
night.
watching overhead.
Jobber of the night is Cody Rhodes for not realizing that he could have just called AJ out from the ring instead of wasting 45 minutes of his life pacing back and forth backstage.
Letting the spirit of Ric Flair possess him.
Anyway, one more segment from us that we like to do on our show, and it's called the Megastar of the Night. Megastar of the Night. This is also a little easier, and I'll go first so that you can't take it from me.
Can't take that away from.
I'm going to give it to old girl, Piper Niven, man.
All
Piper
right.
Niven came out here and she gave exactly what you're supposed to give when you've been giving the one opportunity that you might ever get in a spot like this one. She basically went out there and she showed them why this should not be her only opportunity. And that's literally the name of the game. You take what they give you, and you try to turn it into something else. She went out there, she gave the performance of a fucking lifetime. If she can follow that up on Sunday or next Saturday, then we're going to be cooking with gas. Triple H will reward you, I feel, I hope, unless it's a case of this.
Don't even put those vibes into the atmosphere, John, I swear.
Manifesting.
I'm
need
trying to
this.
manifest
Don't take
goodness.
this away from me, man.
CJ, who's your Megastar of the night?
I was going to go with Piper Niven because of all the reasons that you said, but for the sake of being different, I'm going to go tonight with Logan Paul.
Woo! I didn't get a screenshot of
Has-
that thing. Sorry.
He had the upper hand right from the jump with that prime placement. But one thing that we actually missed talking about tonight was his response to LA Knight. Well, he says, like, you know, go back to the mid card, which, okay, the literal champion of the mid card telling a potential challenger to go back to the mid card is priceless. But, I mean, he's also just really leaning into this character because it's already proven successful in his real life. And I think he's got such an upside in WWE. I look forward to seeing what he does when he gets back from playing Tetris. And that's another thing. Fucking baller going to play Tetris instead of going to work and getting like paid well to do it. That is
Tetris
life
champ.
goals.
Tetris champion though. That's an interesting thing. How did he qualify for this? Is he known for his Tetris skill? Like, is he a?
I'm sure he, you know, slipped the organizers a few cases of Prime,
God,
and they said, no, you have to
nepotism.
register for the tournament.
Tetris Championship
No,
brought to you by Prime.
I'm sure it's probably just a publicity stunt, but as far as tonight goes, I'm going to go with Logan Paul.
All right, Nick, who's your
Oh.
Megastar of the night?
Let me just say for the record, Logan Paul, he's a magician. You know, he's been opening up that forbidden door, WWE and the Tetris Championships. Just saying. But alas, that will not be my megastar. My megastar of the night, just because simply like this is, I'd say, a good start for him, and dare I say them. And go with Solo and the Bloodline here because I think this was a tremendous start to making them look like the killers they needed to be. They were doing a lot of the right moves where the lieutenant is basically trying to become the captain. You know, I think just all around too, like they had a fantastic match, a tremendous showing. This is what they should have been doing for the last several weeks.
I hate his theme song. It reminds me of Samoa Joe with the fart trumpets. Pop, 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 pop.
Dude, like remember like Samoa Joe's original like NXT theme song and it sounded like a game show intro?
Ba-bum. No, I only remember the fart trumpets. But yeah, man, listen. This has been the Dirt Sheet Radio post-show rewind for WWE Smackdown. If you enjoyed that, there is a lot of it. There is literally dozens of hours a week of it. You could fucking, or maybe it's not dozens. I gotta count. It depends on how much we feel like talking. It's about 6 or 7 shows a week. All of them go for an hour to 2 hours every single day of the damn week. We'll recap that again for people who weren't here in the beginning. Mondays after Raw, you got the. Oh, let me remove that. It's tainting my logo. Monday after Raw, you got the Raw post-show rewind. Tuesday, we've got NXT. Wednesday, we've got AEW Dynamite. Thursday, we've got the TNA Impact post-show rewind. Friday, we got us, the SmackDown post-show rewind. Saturdays, we will have pay-per-views and PLE events, and probably Collision soon enough. Sunday, we'll see CJ and Tyler's Level Up Adventure, as well as the 3NT Wrestling Podcast hosted by DJ Danny Ocean. But yeah, man, check us out. Please give us a chance, and we will be here live on all of these Nico Extra platforms, as well as our Dirt Sheet Radio platforms where you can find us traditionally. So if you've never heard of us before and this is your first time and you enjoyed what you were doing, thank you for being here. And if you didn't enjoy it, I don't respect you as a person. Follow us. This little QR code is provided to us by Uncle Howdy and his friends. Takes you right to our Facebook, where if you're into all that Marvel, Star Wars, cinema, pop culture, music, the president died, all that shit, everything that you could possibly want to know, it's going to come from Dirt Sheet Radio directly. And you can find it all as well on Dirt Sheet on comicbookclick.com/Dirt Sheet Radio. So, fellas, if that's all we have tonight, I forgot to bring my thank you graphic, so I have to.
So thank you.
Check out our NXT Battleground Rewind this Sunday.
Shit, there's a pay-per-view Sunday. God damn, I forgot.
Clash of the Castle next Saturday.
NXT Battleground this Sunday. Live post-show rewind on all these very same platforms. They're going to be in the UFC Apex Center, the MMA PC, the MMPP. We're in there.
The PB&J.
Tyler's going to be holding it down. I think you're going to be at work, right, CJ?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to go get paid to play with some cats and dogs. So.
Ooh.
Wow, that is also what streetwalkers say.
No. They call them something else.
I can't say the word, and they're going to think we're soliciting.
Oh, no.
I mean, you also said the words, and I quote, "The president is dead." So if we weren't on a list,
well, I didn't say I wanted to. I didn't say I wanted to do it. Anyway, man.
There's also a real cool flagship podcast.
Fuck, there are so many shows that I literally forget to plug them. You see this thing, this whole fucking program, it's called Dirt Sheet Radio Presents. You know who's presenting these? Us! Dirt Sheet Radio, the flagship, available every single Thursday morning, everywhere podcasts and videos are available, but also live in the middle of the night on Wednesdays for the sickos, for the freaks, for the wrestling fans who don't sleep. We're up. Join us, man. I've had fun on this new platform of ours. It's a fun time.
The music's a nice touch, like Max said.
The music is nice. We
gotta remember to use the lo-fi.
So I was worried that I was gonna loop, but it didn't, right? It hasn't been like a hour-long loop.
One of the two.
Yeah, or maybe it's like a 15-minute long song, so you just don't notice. but I can dig it. I can dig it, man, and I can dig you guys. Thank you all for joining us. Seriously, I mean that. I love you with all my heart. Look at me. Look me in the eye. I love you.
If he wasn't already married, you'd be walking down the aisle right now.
This ring, this doesn't just represent my marriage. It's my relationship with all of you.
No. My dream is a flower girl.
No, seriously. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you